So far, discovery of summarization in BGP proves it's a quite complex process. So let's do a quick recap what I've discovered so far before I do the last option available, I think. So I'm just for simplicity, I removed advertisement from Internet 2. So Internet 1 is advertising prefixes, and I summarize them at the moment. So this is what it looks like. So I have those directly connected networks which I can advertise and summarize. So in BGP, I'm summarizing them here. So first of course, I need to advertise them. So I cannot summarize anything but what I advertise. And if I advertise these four prefixes, there are subsequent subnets. 100.10 is a common denominator, and the bits change on the third octet here. So there's a subnet 0, 1, 2, and 3. Those are subsequent numbers, which in binary give me a lot of common bits, and I'll do maybe in the next lab how to calculate summarization to begin with. But needless to say, aggregate address is my command to summarize all those prefixes to let's say 1 in this particular situation. So if I say aggregate address 110.00, which is the lowest number in here, and with the mask shorter, again in the next lab we'll look at those subsequent bits that never change, but for now all these bits don't change, 22 bits don't change, so I can advertise instead of 4 prefixes just 1, which is the lowest number with a shorter network mask. So that keyword here highlighted is gonna advertise the prefix 110.00/22, but also it's going to advertise all those specific prefixes. If I want to advertise just the summary route, I need to add the summary only keyword here. So that's going to advertise only the summary route without those specific routes. Those will be suppressed. In fact, let's see them. Show IP BGP regular expression. What we originate is basically our caret and $sign, and these show as suppressed. They won't be advertised. So they are suppressed. And if I do summary only keyword, that's exactly the situation. So if I go back to R1, this is what I'm getting now. So this 100.10.00/22 is received from 3 places, and those 3 places in the map are here. Since this guy is advertising aggregate address, this is advertised to all its peers. IBGP peer Internet 2, which re-advertises that to router 2, and the router 2 is again advertises to router 1, which is this next hop. We receive that from router 3, so we advertise summary route to AS30, and AS30 re-advertises that to R1 back again, and this is the next hop. And I also receive that directly from Internet 1 here over eBGP session, and this is the next hop, and that's the best path. Now obviously these options here can be modified. In the previous lab I unsuppressed a prefix, so I use, for example, this an Unsuppress-Map, but Unsuppress-Map is only applied for a particular neighbor. So aggregate address is the aggregation of the prefixes I have here, but the suppression is only on a per peer basis, so it doesn't get advertised to all of them. I need to actually unsuppress certain prefixes for particular neighbor. And the last option I want to do today is actually what happens is I can also sort of unsuppress globally certain prefixes. So I can advertise to all neighbors more specific prefixes, because the Unsuppress-Map is per neighbor basis, and the lab today is about Suppress-Map, which I can add here, which affects all peers at the same time. So if I do that, let's just actually create a situation. So what I'm going to do here, maybe as an example, I'm going to advertise the summary route here /22, but also I want to advertise the network 110.3.0 as well. How do I do that? In that case, I need to create my own suppression map rather than use the default that is currently applied. Default applies for all the more specific prefixes. I can change that. So what I can do here, I can go, let's say, IP prefix list, and I'll call them suppressed. So I create my own suppression map, because by default all specific prefixes will be suppressed, but I'll create my own, in which I can say permit, let's say permit 100.10.00/24. I want to suppress this one. I want to suppress 1. I want to suppress 2, but not 3. So I didn't include the 3, the subnet 3. So this will be sent as /24 in addition to this prefix 110.00/22. So obviously I need to create a route map now to apply that. I'll call this suppress permit 10 match IP address prefix list, and I'll call this suppressed. So I'll just copy and paste. Now this will be applied for all neighbors. So unlike Unsuppress-Map, which is applied for neighbors only, I will apply this for all neighbors at the same time. I will advertise this as a more specific prefix, which is 100.10.3, which is not included in my suppression map matching here. So what I'm going to do now is router BGP 100. I'll say aggregate address. So to this command, I'm going to copy that command. I'm going to add suppress map, and it's called suppress. So let's see that now. So with this extra keyword, suppress map, I'm telling the router, don't suppress all more specific prefixes, suppress them according to this configuration in suppress map, which references the prefix list suppressed, and all those 3 will be suppressed. So let's see what we're advertising now. We should be advertising 110.00/22, which is the aggregate right here. But also to all neighbors, I'm unsuppressing, actually I'm not including in suppress map, 110.3.0. So let's see that happen now. If I repeat my command here we go. I am receiving from 3 different directions, which is directly from here, from R3, and from Internet 2, actually R2 via Internet 2. Those, the specific prefix 100.10.3.0/24, along with the summary route here. So that's the final option here. So in BGP summarization, there's a lot of flexibility, which makes it a bit more complex at the same time. But as long as we know the rules, it is actually simple to do. In the next lab, I'm going to maybe focus on how to calculate and verify this, that the summarization is correct.